Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pull Up with Limbs and Things. My name is Dr. Chanel James. I am the owner of Limbs and Things mobile and telehealth physical therapy practice. We serve aging adults in DC, in Maryland, and in Virginia. And we are all about giving seniors an opportunity to know about different things in the area so that you can help yourselves and have the resources that you need. So tonight we have Miss Malika Moore. She is the owner of Aging and Amazing. And isn't that such a great title? I think it is an awesome name for your company. And so she's going to tell us a little bit about geriatric care management, what it is, what we should know about it, and how to access it. So, Miss Moore, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with Limbs and Things and your audience. So, yes.
Thanks for
Thank you. Thank
coming. So,
you.
tell us a little bit about yourself and then about being a geriatric care manager.
Okay. Sure. I am a licensed clinical social worker in DC and Maryland. So I love social work. It's one of my better decisions. I don't regret it at all. But I
Yeah.
think a lot of people find it interesting when they find out that I work with older adults and caregivers because most times when people hear about social workers, they think children or somewhere in that arena. So yeah, I actually specialize in working with caregivers, older adults, and I love working alongside professionals like you that support older adults in every aspect of their life. So I decided to bring together all of my experience, personal and professional, and my
Mhm.
passion for social work. And I founded Agent and Amazing in 2019. The name, I love it. We're all aging and amazing. So this is,
Absolutely.
I never forget. I had a client who was 98 years old. I walked into her home and she had this beautiful picture of her and her late husband. She had on
Mhm.
this fur coat. Her hair was curled, and she says to me, "I was like, oh, you just look so dapper in that photo." Whatever I said to her, and she said,
Uh-huh.
"Honey, I'm gonna tell you what happened. I was your age one day. I blinked my eyes and I was 98." And I was like, "Is
Right.
that how it happened?" But I think it just drives in this point that we're all aging and we are all amazing and we don't have to choose. And there you have aging and amazing.
I love that story. I love that story. That's good.
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget her. And so this is part of why I like doing this work. So I am in the DC area. I'm actually from Alabama. So hello to my Alabama people. But I've been in the district for over 10 years now. So I serve the district and the surrounding areas. And let's talk about what is geriatric care management.
Hmm.
You'll hear various terms for this. You'll hear case manager, care manager, geriatric care manager. And so I'm going to give you all a little insider of what we do. I'm actually a professional member of the Aging Life Care Association.
Hmm.
And in about 2015, they changed the name from geriatric care manager to aging life care professional. So
Wow.
I'm technically an aging life care professional. However, we have to meet people where they are. So a
We
lot of
do.
times you'll hear geriatric care manager, case manager, social worker, whatever a person feels like describing us. But what do we do? That is a mystery that many people don't know. So
Hmm.
I like to use the word mystery or even thinking about a puzzle. So you have a family situation. We all have families. You have
Hmm.
caregivers and their loved ones. And as we all age, things change. Yes, we're still amazing, but we may have trouble. We may be trying to age in place, which means staying in our home. And sometimes that's not possible. And we need to go to an assisted living or a long term care setting. And no one's planning in their 20s and their 30s and 40s that, oh, I'm going to go to a nursing home or I'm going to have to
Right.
figure out that beautiful home that I made, that I purchased. I probably won't be able to go up those stairs. I think about that daily because I do this work.
I was about to say, now I think about that too.
Absolutely. I'm trying to figure out how to get the elevator in there now, you know? So I'm just saying, what I'm saying to you is you have all these, think of a puzzle that you take out of a box. You have all these pieces scattered. Your loved one who was once doing what you were doing, working and able to do for themselves, may need a little bit more support. And here you are, you have to work and you have to manage and do things. And so your geriatric care manager comes in and takes those pile of puzzle pieces and we put them together. We put those pieces together with knowledge and resource and security and resource navigation, just helping you figure out where to go, who to go to. We know the best professionals like you, Dr. Chanel, that people should contact to age in place and do what they need to do. We become kind of like, the best way I describe it to people is like a paid family member. We become, but we're not, because all of us have families. I have my own, I love you all family, but it's difficult when you're working with your own family. So you get someone to come in with the outside perspective who is working on both sides, yet we're not going to take sides because we have the knowledge and the expertise to say, this is what we need to get dad in the right place. This is what we need to get mom in the right place. And caregiver, you're drowning. We need to get the right resources in place for you. So we put those puzzle pieces together, and occasionally, Dr. Chanel, some of the puzzle pieces are lost. But we know how to reconstruct those. So we know how to find and put another piece in that place that will fit just as well. So maybe that plan for your loved one to age in place didn't quite work out. We'll tell you where you need to go for assisted living or or nursing home. We will scope out for you. We'll go through all the alternatives. We work with your budget and seeing what you need.
That's great. Because I think a lot of us think that if we have an issue, we go to the hospital, then we'll get a social worker in there. But there are some people who are actually in their homes that need the same services, but are not going to the hospital to get it. And so how can we get in touch with you if we're living in the community? We haven't had an episode that's caused us to go into a facility where we would get a case manager.
Right. Okay. Well, to contact me, definitely you can go to the website. I know you have the information flashing by Dr. Chanel, but I do want to add something in. You made a very important comment. Most times when people hire my agency, they're already in crisis. Mm-hmm. So it's really, most of the time it's not proactive where, okay, we see that mom, dad is having a little trouble. Or if you're like me, a long distance caregiving, you may observe things and say, oh, we got time. I say the best time to call in a care manager is when you think you don't need one. That's the absolute best time. I will scale back and say we specialize in coming in a crisis. So if you need us, don't hesitate and think it's too late. But just to answer your question, it's better to plan ahead. But some things we don't plan for because life happens, we're doing life, and it takes that crisis to get our attention. So if you're in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, we're definitely here to support you. But also, like I said, I'm part of an organization, an association called Asian Life Care Association. And you can go to their website and they have a search where you can find a geriatric care manager or an aging life care professional in your area. It doesn't matter where you are. I will say that, it's private pay. So you also want to think about your budget and your needs. And I'm a social worker, so I have to say this, in that there are ways that you can get other resources that might be a better fit for you rather than the aging life care professional or the geriatric care management, or whatever you want to have it. You may go through your Department of Aging and start there. I will say, just call. A lot of care managers have free consultations. We offer free consultations, so you don't necessarily have to be in the area, but we can help point you in the right direction. So find Google or whatever you utilize to find the Aging Life Care Association, and you find a Aging Life Care professional. You'll see my profile there, and you'll see lots of other qualified professionals who are here to support and serve you and your family.
Absolutely. So anyone watching, we want you to let us know you're here. You can hashtag live if you're watching this live, and you can hashtag replay if you're watching it on the replay. If you have a question or a comment for Ms. Moore, please put it in the comment section and we'll discuss it so that we can get every question answered and hopefully not leave anything unturned. It is really important to me that we make sure that we convey to you that insurance doesn't cover everything. And as we get older, we may find that we need either other insurance coverages like long-term care, or you set aside some funds for these things. Because as we get older, things happen that we can't necessarily foresee or foretell that's going to happen, but we need funds to be able to do it. I know a lot of seniors say, well, I'm on a fixed income and I can't handle this amount. But we want you to know that there are some things that you really have to set aside funds for because it won't be covered by something else. But it's really important too that you know, as a physical therapist and as anyone that's coming into your home to provide services to you, that we often are the ones that see a need and reach out to our resources like Ms. Moore to be able to provide the additional resources to you, because we see that there is something that might be changing and you may not be able to handle it. But the most important part is reducing your stress, because we know that stress can kill. And we want everyone to have an even playing field in terms of your emotional health as well. Yeah. So is there anything that you can share that would be like the difference between case management and care management?
Okay. So like I said, some people use those terms interchangeable, but most time when you're hearing somebody say care manager, they may be paying, it may indicate to you or give you some clue of the payer source. Like, is this through like a nonprofit organization that's provided case management? And let me tell you, I used to be one of those case managers and I worked my butt off. I loved it. So you can get somebody who will work very hard for you. And then you may have that care management that's private pay. A lot of times I like what you said, Dr. Chanel, sometimes the care recipient can't pay for it. And I've seen children step in and say, look, we gotta pull together and do this. I had one family tell me, look, this is grandma's tuition. So all of them kind of pulled together and said, look, this is grandma's tuition. We're putting her in assisted living. We're matching what she doesn't have to cover the remainder. And we're bringing in a care manager to make sure she adjusts well to this different change in level. So case manager versus care manager, some people may not know the difference and just maybe using it as one word, but more than often when I hear it, it's like a payer source. So I would ask more questions about, okay, so where's your case manager work? What do they do to get more information? Or where'd you find your care manager? What do they do? Is there a cost? Those types of things.
So you talked about some of the resources you provide. Is there anything else that you do in Aging and Amazing outside of geriatric care management?
Absolutely. We do a lot of things. Education. You'll have to check out our website. We just launched a new website that we're very happy and pleased about. So check it out. But we also have our signature online community. We are thrilled and excited about this, and we're adding new members. Well, we're actually calling them beta members, and people have said, what are beta members? You would get in early and you would give us feedback, but it has caregiver support groups in there. If you're any kind of older adult or professional specializing in aging, you become one of our charter members. You share resources in there. I know, Dr. Chanel, I've shared your videos in there. So it's just a place where we can all come together and, you know, we don't have any ads getting in our way. We don't have to worry about people saying, does this go on this platform or not? So if you want to connect with other professionals and other caregivers, pretty much 24/7, we're building it out. You just contact us and we'll add you to the community free of charge. You'll never have to pay for it ever, because we're in our beta phase of our signature online community for older adults, caregivers, and professionals, any kind of professional specializing in aging. You can be an attorney, nursing home administrator, social worker, whatever you're doing to support older adults, and wherever you are, we need you in that community to help make it great.
Awesome. With geriatric care management, is there a specific age that begins care?
So that varies. That's a great question. That varies. Typically, we are working with people 60 and up, and occasionally, let's flip this. On the other side, where I may be working or we may be working with a caregiver only. So that caregiver can be in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And we're working alongside them, planning, and hey, what do we need to do? I don't think mom, dad, aunt, cousin is ready for you to come in now, but can you sit with me and help guide the situation? Or a lot of times we're just helping the caregivers identify some stressors they have. A lot of times caregivers have trouble putting boundaries in place and they're drowning. And I always say to caregivers, who's going to take care of your loved one if something happens to you? Because there's no age limit on anything happening to us. I'm like a witness for that. So we all have to be mindful and take care of ourselves. So all ages.
Okay. Is there any other criteria we should be aware of?
If you're unsure, just give us a call. I like chatting. I love what I do. I absolutely love it. And so if you're unsure, you're like, Malika, I don't know if this is the right situation, I'll try to at least point you in the right direction. So that's primarily, you get a free consultation if you call and you're in the area. Generally, we do go into the homes or the assisted living or wherever you are that your loved one needs help or you need support. But of course, we have our virtual tool on the online community. It's all virtual. So I don't care if you're in California, Alabama, Texas, where else? New York, just come and join us and we'd love to stay connected to you.
Awesome. So you said it's for professionals, but is it also for those who are in the age group?
Yeah. So for older adults, so that can be, I know people like, whatever you older adult could be 60 and up. That's still young, by the way. Older adults, caregivers, of course. So if you're a caregiver, I really want to make a plea out to my younger caregivers, my 30, 40, 20. This is for you too. A lot of you all are in that sandwich generation where you're either raising children and you're caring for a loved one, or you may just be running a business like Dr. Chanel and myself, and you're trying to caregive. We need you in there because I tell everybody with the caregiving journey, isolation is the enemy. And so part of creating this community is so you can connect with others who can say, look, I don't know what to deal with this hearing issue or this toileting issue. Come in that community. Somebody's going to rally around you and support you and say, where are you? Because I know Dr. Chanel, who's in Washington, D.C., and she can come and help you and your aunt figure this out. So that's the main feature that I want to say. And don't think you're too young. There is really no age on caregiving. And a lot of people don't identify as caregivers, even especially if they're in another state. So if you even think you might be a caregiver or this might cross your path, we need you in that community.
Very good plea. I agree. There are a lot of people who are caring for someone else, even at a distance. If you're managing their care, trying to figure out how to get this resource for them, that's considered a caregiver as well. So thank you for bringing that up. Let's see. Is there any final thought or any question that the audience has that you want answered, or just a comment you want to share about your experience with geriatric care management? We'll give you an opportunity to put that in the comments before we leave. But do you have a final thought, Ms. Moore?
Okay, my final thought, thank you for asking that. I think just to pace yourself. It can be scary thinking about being a caregiver or watching a loved one decline and you think they might not be accepting of help. I say you have to build the people around you. Make sure you have a good support system of people you can trust, because we're all aging and amazing, and we all will be touched by caregiving in some form or fashion. So don't feel like you have to go at it alone. I don't care if you have to just Google search. You don't have to do that now. Just give me a call or Dr. Chanel. But if you have to Google search, just start calling people, telling your story. People are moved by stories and they can point you in the right direction. Don't do it alone. And we are definitely here for you.
Absolutely. So I agree with everything Ms. Moore has said. I think it's so important that you get the resources that you need, and you know that if you need assistance, even if it's from the person who actually is finding that, oh my goodness, I'm not doing something as well as I need to, but I'm trying to figure out just who I need to go to get the assistance you need, is a geriatric care manager. So hopefully you have gained that information from this talk. If you do have any additional questions, please put it in the comments. Even though we are leaving at this time, we'll come back and answer your question. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Ms. Moore, for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, everybody have a good 4th of July weekend. We'll be back in August, same time. Take care, everybody.
Be safe.